Hello, I'm Jenny Wood and this is Woodland Permaculture. I'm so glad you joined me today. It is August in the middle of a heat wave here in Tracy, and so I'm out here in the morning trying to avoid the extreme 100-degree weather this afternoon. But being August, that means that it is summer pruning time, and I have a little bit of pruning to do, especially on my stone fruit trio behind me. Now, summer pruning is a little bit different than winter pruning. In summer, when you prune, there's not going to be much growth after you prune. Whereas in the winter, when you prune, that is to encourage growth. So when you prune in the summertime, you're pruning to keep the height of your trees at where you want them so that they don't get too big, or you're cutting off branches that you don't want to grow back. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And as you can see on the trio behind me, especially the plum tree in the back has really tall branches, and I'm going to cut those off as well as a few others, maybe some dead things, and just to keep it down to the level that I want it to be. You might be able to see my 3-step ladder right there. That's what I'm going to use to prune, but that's also the height that I want to be able to harvest my fruit. So I don't want my trees to get any taller than what I would be when I climb up that ladder, because I don't want to be getting out some big ladder to be harvesting my fruit. So I'm keeping my trees at a lower level and small enough so that they're manageable for me. And I'm kind of short, so that's how it works for me. So I'm gonna pull in the camera just a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to climb up that three-step ladder, and I'm going to show you what kind of pruning I'm doing. Okay, I'm up here and I have my loppers, my long-handled loppers for things that are farther away, and I have my smaller pruners for things that are close up and not too big. I don't know if you can see, but I also have some netting tangled up in these trees. I put the netting on to protect my fruit from the birds, and it really worked. I got all of my fruit, but now it's tangled, and in fact a lot of these branches have grown through the netting. So as I'm cutting the branches, I'm going to try and remove the netting as well, so I can save it for next year and not hurt the tree anymore. Here we go. These up here are pretty small. Cut that right here. And see that right there? I'm able to start taking off some of the netting. You might also see that I have some morning glories up here. My morning glories, like all morning glories, have gone crazy and have pretty much infiltrated everything over here, which is fine for us because we love the morning glories, and they'll die back in the winter time. But I do want to try and get them out of my tree a little bit. All right, so I've lopped those top branches off, and now I'll just have to pick a bunch of stuff out of this netting before I can put it away. I thought about, this is my pluot tree on this side, and it also has a few branches that are going fairly tall. However, I can see that that one is not nearly as full as the others, and so what I think I'm going to do is wait until winter and prune it a little more in winter to encourage it to grow and to bush out a little bit more. So I'm not going to prune that one right now. But what I am going to do is head over to my apple tree, because the apple tree has some really tall branches going up into the air as well that I want to prune a little bit. So hold on just a minute and I'll take you on over there. All right, here I am at the apple tree, which has a lot of lovely apples getting ready. Oh, there goes one. That one was going bad anyway, so I think it's all right. A lot of beautiful apples that will be ready probably in November. That's when they were ready last year. But you can see that these also have a lot of tall branches growing straight up, and I actually probably should have trimmed these back before this, but I never got to it. So today I'm going to try and cut back all these really tall branches to keep this also at a level that is manageable. Again, when I trim these, they won't grow. Like, things will not start growing out of here. So we're just going to cut them and they will stay at that length. At least that's the theory, right? Oh, there goes another apple. Shoot. A few more on the other side. All right, I think my summer pruning is done. It didn't take me all that long. There wasn't a whole lot to do this year. In coming years, there probably will be more though as my trees get bigger. But I'm glad to have done it. You can see I've kind of made it a little shorter up there. You may also have noticed that I cut some very close to where apples were. I certainly didn't want to cut anything below an apple so I could have my apples. And then maybe after the apples come off, I might trim those back a little bit more. But otherwise, I think that's good for my summer pruning. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And whew, it is time to get out of this heat. I'm going to spend the afternoon inside editing the video. You guys, thanks so much for joining me. You guys take care, stay cool, and God bless.